I never thought I'd find myself sitting across from a lawyer, signing papers that felt like the death of everything I had worked for. Not because I didn't want to, but because I never imagined betrayal could come wrapped in legal documents. Her name was Claudia. She had been my wife for 8 years, my partner in everything, and someone I trusted implicitly. Together, we built a life of stability, ambition, and wealth, at least what I thought was mutual trust. Claudia was smart, elegant, persuasive, and she knew exactly how to get what she wanted. And now, here I was, listening to her lawyer explain terms I barely understood, her eyes watching me closely. Watching me sign away things she had already decided she wanted to upgrade. She called it that, an upgrade. I remembered the first time she had used that word. A casual dinner, her tone light, almost playful. "Maybe it's time for an upgrade," she said, twirling her wine glass. "You know, something better, newer, exciting." At the time, I had laughed it off. I thought it was a joke. But now, 8 years later, I realized it wasn't a joke. It was a warning. She wanted out. I could feel the sting of it, the betrayal, the sharp edges cutting into everything I believed in. Yet, strangely, I stayed calm. I smiled. I nodded. I agreed to every single demand she made. Every asset, every detail, every clause. She didn't know what I was thinking. She thought I was defeated, broken, compliant. But the truth was, I was planning my own move. Because while Claudia thought she was getting everything, she didn't know that I had been quietly working behind the scenes for months, preparing for the moment she believed she had the upper hand. It all started a year earlier, long before she had whispered the word upgrade at dinner. I had invented something, an idea I poured my soul into, a patent for a device that could revolutionize the tech world. I didn't tell her. I didn't need to. I knew she would claim half the rights, use it as leverage, and manipulate it for her own advantage. So, I kept it secret. Hidden. My little secret. And now, as she filed for what she believed was her victory, I quietly prepared for my own. Signing the final papers was surreal. Her satisfaction was almost visible, radiating from her like she had won a battle I didn't even know I was fighting. She smiled, leaned back in her chair, and said, "Congratulations. It's all yours now." But she was wrong, because months later, the truth revealed itself. The patent, the one she thought she had control over, was sold. $85 million. A number so large, so staggering, it made her lawyer's jaw drop. Claudia didn't see it coming. No lawyer, no court, no clause could save her now. I had agreed to everything she demanded, but she had no idea that I had already made the move that mattered most. She had underestimated me, assumed compliance meant weakness. And for the first time in years, I felt the power shift. She called me immediately when she found out. I could hear her voice trembling through the phone. Rage, shock, disbelief, all mixed into one. She had no words, only the realization that she had been outmaneuvered, that the person she thought she could control had outsmarted her completely. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Silence was my ally. Let her lawyer turn white first. Let her panic. Let her understand, finally, that I had the upper hand all along. And in that moment, I knew something profound. Victory isn't about fighting back. It's about staying calm when everyone else believes they've won, then acting when the time is right. A week later, Claudia showed up at my office. She had that same composed exterior she always wore, the expensive suit, perfectly styled hair, sharp heels that clicked with authority. But I could see it in her eyes. The storm beneath the surface. The panic. The betrayal she hadn't anticipated. "You did this," she said, her voice controlled but icy. "You sold it. Without me. You tricked me." I leaned back in my chair, calm as ever, my hands folded. "I didn't trick you. I simply didn't give you the chance to manipulate me." Her face twisted in disbelief. "How could you? I agreed to everything. Every demand, every asset. You signed it all." "Exactly," I interrupted. "You thought compliance meant weakness. That I would bend and break because you wrote it in legal terms. But you underestimated me. That was your mistake." She took a step closer, her voice rising. You've ruined everything. Everything we built. I trusted you. I smiled. A quiet, measured smile. No, Claudia. You ruined everything the moment you filed for an upgrade. You thought it was about taking more, having more, controlling more. You didn't realize life doesn't reward manipulation. It rewards preparation. She slammed a hand on my desk, rattling the papers I had neatly organized. How could you sell it for 85 million and not tell me? That was ours.
Mine.
You stole from me. I shook my head. It was never yours, Claudia. Not when your loyalty was already gone. I honored our marriage in every way I could, even when you stopped caring. And now, I am honoring myself. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the air conditioning. Claudia's lawyer had followed her, standing awkwardly to the side, a pale ghost of authority. He was the first to realize what had happened. He adjusted his tie, swallowed, and muttered something under his breath, but Claudia didn't hear. Her chest heaved. Her perfectly measured composure was cracking. She had expected victory. She had expected control. But here she was, powerless, staring at the very man she thought she could manipulate. You think you've won, she spat finally, her voice sharp and full of venom. But this isn't over. I will get this back. I will get everything back. You haven't seen the last of me. I stood slowly, calm, unwavering. No, Claudia. This is the end. You got everything you wanted in your mind, and it cost you everything you valued most. You underestimated patience, preparation, and the quiet power of someone who knows what they're doing. Her eyes narrowed, and for a second, I saw the woman I had once loved, fierce, smart, beautiful, but also selfish, cold, and dangerously calculating. But that person no longer had power over me. I had reclaimed my life, my future, and my freedom. She turned sharply and stormed out, her heels clicking down the corridor. Her lawyer followed, muttering apologies I didn't need. I sat back down, exhaling slowly. A weight lifted from my shoulders. The tension, the fear, the anxiety all gone. Weeks passed. Claudia tried everything, calls, emails, legal challenges, but every move she made was met with prepared countermoves. I had anticipated every angle, every trap she set, every attempt to regain control. Nothing worked, and slowly, the realization sank in. She had lost. Completely. And this time, there was no chance for her to recover what she thought was hers. Life after Claudia felt different. Liberating. Empowering. I invested wisely, traveled, spent time with friends, and began to focus on the projects I had always dreamed of, without manipulation, betrayal, or distrust shadowing my every move. I learned something crucial. In life, the quiet ones, the ones underestimated, the ones who act with strategy and patience, they win. Not through rage, not through force, not through confrontation, but through foresight, preparation, and the ability to stay calm while others think they are in control. And Claudia? She was gone from my life. Outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and ultimately irrelevant. Some nights, I think of her calculated smiles, her schemes, and I smile. Not because I hate her, but because I won. On my terms. And that was priceless.